Hello nerds and welcome to Into the Wild, your favourite wildlife and conservation podcast where we look at all things, well, wildlife and conservation.
This is a podcast of curiosity where we know we don't have all the answers.
Oh, that's my co-host Nadia, by the way.
Hi. But it doesn't really matter because we're here to learn and crucially listen to those who are affected by and closest to the issues that we as conservationists tend to pick over from our comfy living rooms.
So strap yourselves in, open up your luggles, grab a brew and join us as we geek out over nature, share our love for wildlife, rarely take ourselves seriously, all whilst learning. Oh, and we sometimes swear. So this is Christmas.
What have we done?
Another year over.
I'm drinking beer just for fun.
It's annoying because you can actually sing.
You can too. It's just everyone can sing. Let's not go down this road. Everyone can sing. Everyone can do art.
I don't know if I know. I hard disagree with that.
I think every human has the ability to express themselves through creative means, and the standards we set are superficial, problematic standards, and it's meant that people don't paint and people don't sing, and I think that's a travesty.
I don't think you've seen enough shows at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Oh, really?
To claim everyone can do art.
Anyway, so this is...
Everyone can claim to do art.
Exactly.
Mm.
So to go through the creative process is what makes us human. To
Well,
be able
how
to get
have we
people
got to
say,
this deep chat
that's
by
amazing.
me singing?
No, let me finish my point. For people to be able to market and sell and become famous is different from humans' ability to be a creative being.
Mm.
Put that in your
Wish
stocking.
it could be Christmas every day.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
Because it is Christmas now, isn't it? It's December.
I was just going to make it into a nature song.
Oh.
I was just riffing.
Were you riffing?
Just want some... Oh, you see, I've missed my flow, and it was going to be really good. It was going to be about trees and bees.
Just a reminder, everyone can do art.
I just want my rivers clean, and I think you know what I mean. Make my wish come true. I don't want my rivers with poo.
Okay, well, you snatched victory from the claws of defeat with that.
I did, didn't I? Because I rhymed true with poo.
Did. Yeah. Also, very on board with one of my stories today. But anyway, how are you?
Well, what the problem is that we're recording on a Friday, which is what we don't usually do. When we record on a Friday, we always have beer. And I don't know whether it makes for a good podcast or a bad podcast.
I mean, we've only just taken a sip, and considering how this has started already, it can only get better from here.
I'm drinking a beer by Brewgooder called Sun and Stone Lager.
Mm.
And it supports a Palestinian-owned microbrewery.
That's very cool. I'm drinking a Lakes Brew Company West Coast Pale, and it supports my belly.
Belly. Lovely. Merry Christmas. I'm good. I'm great. I'll tell you what, me and Ryan were going to record yesterday, and I said to him, I'm in such a foul mood that it will not make for a good podcast, so you kindly let us record on a Friday.
I did, because I'm such a kind man.
Kind, lovely man. It's because I'm hormonal, and yesterday I wanted to punch any man in the face that I saw.
And I'll be honest, nerds, I was just terrified to go on Zoom with her. Yeah, I'm good.
You're actually rocking the... Well, last time you removed your beard, and now it's grown back a little bit. But not
quick,
grown
innit?
back. It's like, this is your length. This is for you.
Oh, this is it?
Hover here.
Is it? Can I just journey back to the last episode when I said that everyone gives their opinion without me asking? And look what's happened again. I did not ask.
I know, but I just looked at him and thought, God, he looks handsome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, it's all people care.
And if we'd have recorded yesterday, I'd have been like, right, come on, nature highlight.
You think 24 hours later is the sweet spot of my beard?
No. 24 hours later is the sweet spot of luteal.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
I actually just finished this beer. Shall I just quickly go grab another? Can you just put the elevator music on for a minute? I'll be like...
I'll put the lift music. Go on. There you go.
Okay.
Well, nerds, welcome to week 32 of Nature News by Into the Wild. Obviously, we're your hosts, Ryan and Nadia. We're about to share our nature highlights from the last time we spoke on the show to see what Nadia and I have seen around our local area, all nature that's made us feel a bit So let's see what they are.
Do you know what? You've never given an intro like that before, which makes what I'm about to say awkward.
Go on.
Because you said, let's share a highlight that made us go, you don't usually do that. And I wanted to flip the script today, and I wanted to share a nature lowlight.
For fuck's sake.
Because harking to our Room 101, Nature Room 101, for listeners that are aware that we do that every now and then, there's something that I just keep noticing, and I need to talk about it as therapy.
Yeah, so out of nowhere, you're telling me you've changed the segment of the show.
Well, no, because it's like, okay, well, I can pretend. Do you know what I mean? Why am I pretending about this thing of
All right, well, maybe
it
would be something that was my highlight. So what was it? What happened?
I want to talk to the listeners specifically because I think I need people to... I need solidarity.
Right, I'll step this one aside, shall I?
The cellar spider.
The cellar spider?
You know, the really skeletal-looking spider?
The small body, big legs?
Small body, big legs. It's in everybody's houses.
Yeah.
They are not welcome here.
Why?
Because, okay, I'm in this dilemma because they're in every corner and they just create these constant webs. I can't live in a house. Oh, God, this is so exposing. But, like, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And like, they can't be here.
You're sounding very... Dare I say?
I know, it's edgy. I wouldn't say it.
I won't say it. But I'm going to take you back 2 episodes ago where you claimed quite heavily that lifting logs, you enjoyed seeing a scatter of invertebrates.
Love
and now
it when
suddenly
I'm
you
outside.
hate invertebrates.
Love it when I'm outside. The other morning I was lying in bed and one came down like this next to my face as I was reading.
Not a cellar spider.
Ryan, a cellar spider came down with its ass silk next to me.
No, I've never seen them ass silk like that.
Because I have got a proliferation, an infestation. There is probably, I would say, easily 50 in my house right now.
You've got quite a big house.
Thanks.
What wing are they in?
Shut up.
Okay, but this is one of the weirdest moments of nature highlights we've ever done.
But you know, like a house spider, they're big and chonky.
Yeah.
You can just capture them and take them outside.
Yeah.
And
okay.
you know, it might be 2 or 3 weeks and it'll be back.
I'm not going to agree with you about your point, but I'm glad you
But
felt
I
the
do try
comfortable
and
to bring
take
it
the
up.
cellar spiders out. But those guys are inside all over. Like, they're called cellar spiders.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, well, you're not going to survive in the outdoors because you're not built for the outdoors, if I'm honest. It's like climbing Mount Everest wearing a thong. That's what it's like for them.
Oh, yeah.
They
That
just
comparison.
need to be indoors.
Yeah, they need to be indoors. You're right. It sounds really stressful.
Okay, please can somebody just validate me by commenting on Instagram or something or emailing the pod because I don't know what to do. Anyway, go on. Make my day happy.
Well, I enjoyed my first frost of this half of the year.
That's really nice.
Of the walk. So on the walk, I was walking on Hampstead Heath, and anywhere the sun hadn't hit yet was just frosted over. So I was enjoying stinging nettle leaves, and the frost looked fit as
Oh my god, they are like, it's like a glow up.
Oh, it's honestly, oh Jesus,
It's like
yeah.
they get over the teenage acne and they're like, I'm hot now.
They're like, yeah, glowing. And then I enjoy picking up the leaves because all the leaves are just like that crisp stuck together. But you can like peel one off and then just look at the frost on the outer side.
And it's nice holding something that's soft, but then for the first time it's hard.
Yeah, you could like break it. Like it's really nice. So that was a really nice moment. And I also spoke about it with several people on the Heath, and we all commented on it and said how nice it was.
It's
so
really
it was
lovely
nice.
when there's like a collective recognition of beauty
Yeah.
From people that you don't usually talk about wildlife.
It was also blue sky day, low light. It was only 5 degrees. It was just the perfect day.
Can I offer a bit of knowledge?
About cellar spiders.
No, we've moved on from them. They're
Go on,
inside
a
my
bit of knowledge.
Hoover.
Instill some knowledge.
No, well, just it's when you get frost like that. It's not always because it's been like a genuinely frosty night. There's something called hoarfrost. HOAR.
Okay.
Which is when the conditions are. I just wrote about this in a TGO article. If anyone,
TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays. If anybody, sorry, edit that out.
Absolutely.
So basically, hoarfrost is when the atmospheric conditions are just right. So there's no wind, and the temperature has dropped. It's the moisture in the air that goes onto any surface and then freezes. And that's called hoarfrost. And that's that when you wake up in the morning and all the literally when the grass is blinking like 1,000 diamonds.
That's very poetic.
Hoarfrost.
That was very nice. Thank you for instilling that bit of knowledge. I can't wait to tell people about it.
I actually wrote about it in an article recently because I do a monthly column on nature, because it's one of those things where I'm like, it's basically you are a child again and magic has happened.
Yeah, it is that. It really is that. Also, I think it's that real turning point of the seasons. You feel like, okay, the leaves have been here.
When you get winter, it makes me happy.
Oh, God, it makes me happy. Although, yeah, it's not consistent. Today was 14 degrees.
It's a toxic relationship, isn't it?
It is. Okay, nerds, well, this is week 32 of Nature News. Nadia and I have been very busy to find some stories from around the world to do with wildlife, conservation community and nature, and we're about to share them with you. So are you ready, Nads?
We went for Nads. Yeah, we're ready.
Nads. I've never called you Nads.
No, I know, and it's actually the second time it's happened today.
Okay, well, strap yourselves in, nerds. Here we go. Week 32 of Nature News.
Right, I'm starting because you started last week, Bagsy.
Wow, okay. That was sibling energy.
You are my brother. Brother from another mother. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, I actually just thought today, it popped into my head, and I tell you for why. I've got stories today. To be honest, this is the kind of day where if I was in a pub, I would just be spinning yarns for hours. So over the last 2 weeks actually, there's been a dead juvenile herring gull on my beach. And it has taken all of the willpower, or like battle of wills, to stop my dog rolling in the dead gull. So every time we go to the beach of a morning, she just looks at me with a side eye and starts trotting towards this gull. And then the other day there was an adult dead herring gull, and I thought, ooh, what's happening with avian flu, avian influenza? So I thought I'd just look up and have a quick update there. So there's an article here I found. It's the European Food Safety Authority website, which basically says there is an unprecedented high level of highly pathogenic avian influenza in wild birds in Europe during the 2025 autumn migration. So there's been a peak.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's kind of bounced back. So between the 6th of September and the 14th of November 2025, 1,443 highly pathogenic avian influenza virus detections were reported in wild birds across 26 countries. Obviously, that is just that's a signal of probably a wider problem right there. Just the reported and tested cases, which isn't great. There seems to be a bit of a boost this year on it coming back. And then I went on the gov.uk website, the latest situations. They don't really focus on wild bird populations, but what they do is they report every day on domesticated. So 27th of November, a 3-kilometre protection zone and a 10-kilometre surveillance zone has been declared around these premises in Ely, Cambridgeshire, and then basically it goes 25th of November, a 3-kilometre protection zone has gone round Breckland in Norfolk, Folkestone in Kent. It's not there's something here about being the east of the country, which is where a lot of our wildfowl and geese overwinter. So when there's a mass influx of migration, the geese tend to go to the southeast coast. And this southeast area, there is breakouts now in domesticated poultry premises. All poultry on the premises of this place in Folkestone and in Norfolk have been culled. 24th of November, It says here, following successful completion of disease control, killing the birds, near premises near Beedale, Thurston, Malton, Yorkshire. That's an area there. And so I just feel like, can we just, I don't know whether it's too little too late, but like, we don't need turkeys at Christmas. We don't need chicken. If we can reduce our consumption of these birds, does it reduce the production of them? It probably doesn't in this time frame. It would probably need to be over a long period of time for companies to stop produce, because I think they just overproduce. I actually read something today about how veganuary is problematic for dairy industries because they still produce it. The milk dairy demands go down in veganuary, but it's all still produced, so it just goes down the drain.
Oh God.
Because they're going off data of like how much needs to be produced for sales.
So you need longevity of it not being demanded for a certain...
Exactly. So over 10 years, if no one's buying it, they'll probably reduce herds or whatever, go out of business, or change what they do with their land, which is not for example. But
oh God. But that's interesting that you witnessed something happening.
Because I didn't report it, right? The thousands of unreported dead birds on beaches. I mean, since I lived on the Isle of Bute, I've seen dead black-headed gulls, dead shags, obviously herring gulls. I've seen red-throated diver dead on the beach. I've seen many, many birds dead on the beach. I'm not testing or reporting because I think it has to be a significant amount, but and also they do die of other causes, but you're not allowed to touch them or take their skulls, unfortunately, because it could, passing this thing on. But it's still here with us and probably here for a bit longer.
Well, thank you for the update. We've reported on that quite a few times, or caught people up to date with that.
At this time of year, it's worth just keep updating to remind us that our poultry industry of intensive poultry is not great, and also remembering that in September, tens of thousands, if not millions, of pheasants were released into the countryside again.
Yes.
Problematic.
Do you know what? I had a conversation with some friends the other day and told them about pheasants not being native, and they were very surprised. They didn't know that.
Oh, really?
It's still a bit of information that a lot of people, a lot of the public don't
marketing.
know. So nerds, when you're talking to people, if you're talking about land or food, wild food, whatever it is, always bring that up because it's very interesting to see people's reactions about pheasants not being native to the UK. But thanks for that update. It's always good to check in with those stories.
Hey nerds, sorry to interrupt the show, it's Ryan here. I just wanted to pop on to tell you something quick. We always want Into the Wild to be a free and accessible show, but it does cost to run this thing. So if you ever have any spare pennies or pounds and you want to chuck it towards your favourite nature, wildlife and conservation podcast, then you can do so by going to www.ko-fi.com/intothewildpod. The link is in the write-up of this episode. Anything you're able to give goes straight back into the shows we produce. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Back onto nature news.
What you got, baby?
Well, this one popped up on my Instagram as a reel from Nat Geo. So I went on their website to read more about it, and I was fascinated by it for a couple of reasons. But the headline was, scientists put sharks in a tank full of toys to see what they did. So it's a bit of a report on whether sharks have the ability to, I guess, display behaviours that are described as play and what their cognitive, abilities are. So we use the word play when we look at dogs who fetch sticks, or cats playing with bits of string or something like that. That's absolutely fine. But with certain animals, especially with sharks, it's not as easy as that, and people don't, or rather academia isn't as accepting to use that kind of word play. More research needs to be done on these kind of animals. So there's a new study in a journal called Applied Animal Behavioural Science, and it describes sharks interacting with human toys in a way that resembles play. However, the word play does not appear in the paper. So what caught my eye was the video footage that shows sharks swimming through these little hoops, picking up with their nose, flicking the toys with their tails, bumping into them, biting them, kind of just interacting with them all together, like they do in the wild. They kind of also all rushed to one toy at the same time to see what it was. But the question in the paper is this sharks playing? So study authors say that to claim that the interaction is play, that behaviour needs to be contrasted with normal behaviour. trigger a sense of reward in the brain for the animal, and happen when the animal is relaxed and in an unstressed context. Since the study didn't rigorously address those points, and the authors do understand why, according to them, journal reviewers told them that to remove the word play from the paper. So that's why it couldn't be added in there. Yeah. But it does open up this kind of discussion around different animals' abilities and stuff. So Patrick Sun, who's a professor of ecology at Biola University and the co-author of the study, said, "If you ask me casually, that's exactly what the sharks were doing. We thought they were playing, and I think if we designed a more rigorous study, we would prove that they were playing. However, some people say a few different things." A lady called Elisabetta Pelaghi, a comparative ethologist at the University of Pisa, who wasn't involved in the research, thinks it's hard to say whether the sharks were playing or not, or if it can even be defined as that. She thinks it's more accurate to describe it as exploratory behaviour. Pelaghi also points out after some time that shark motivation towards a toy seems to decrease. She thinks that this points more towards exploratory behaviour, where the sharks, after exploring the objects for some time and realising they don't provide food or anything else, lose interest, get bored and leave. So there's a few contradictory things, but it's an interesting little article, and I think it does open up that conversation about, anthropomorphizing animal behaviour to see what it is. But it's interesting. The video is adorable.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Go on the Nat Geo Instagram or on the website. They've got a video on there. The link is in the write-up of this episode. They look like, I'm not sure the species, but they look like different cat sharks, and it is. Yeah, they are kind of nudging them up and down, but again, like it's all about perception and stuff, and until the conditions and like those rigorous studies can be done a bit more, at the moment they can't really say. But I see it as play.
Can I give you my hot take?
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Can I give you and the reason is that our job as guardians, or perceived guardians of the natural world. And I say guardians not because we are superior to anything in the natural world. I say that because we have the power to destroy.
Yes.
The point is that we can relate and empathise. And when we relate and empathise, if perceiving it as play makes us increase our protections for shark species around the world, then our human ability to anthropomorphise or relate has done exactly what it needed to do. And I think that this is where me and scientific researchers, we rub.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Our job is to go, that blackbird singing made my heart swell. I don't need a scientist to tell me, it just wants a shag and it's defending its territory. I don't give two shades of shit. The reality is the singing made my heart feel as though I'm in tune with the natural world, and it's what I needed to grind me. And we can ground me. And it's funny that we're constantly searching for the definitive thing, as opposed to, as a human, what does it make us think and feel? And therefore, how do we as a society create a narrative around that thing to care for it? Which is what communities of humans have done for millennia, which is why pre-monotheistic religion, that was, before the dominating religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Muslim having kind of one god, we had like lots of animalistic gods, right? Because we would be like, we would just see the magic in wildlife and nature, and I guess, and this is a very, very back of the fag packet summary of humans and deities, and it's not as simple as that, and I absolutely recognise that, and I'm not an anthropologist, but it's just kind of like to revere nature and the natural world by seeing the story and going, look, that's what happens. That creates a community of people who care for it more. But when you reduce it to science, it creates a community. Weirdly, the more that we learn about ecosystems, the less we manage to care about them. So it's just like, I will watch that video and I will go, yep, they're playing. And that's exactly the right response that we need.
Exactly. But you and I have this conversation off record about academia quite often, and science, and this kind of removal of this human side of it and stuff. And it's a part that I've never really liked, and I have a lot of issue with. I'm not someone that needs, like you said, needs a scientist to confirm what I'm witnessing or enjoying. I even have my own names for some animals if I can't remember the common names
that really
anyway.
Enjoyed the Exeter herring gull chip. experiment.
I didn't say I enjoyed it. I just said it was newsworthy.
It's good. I'm
It was
interested
funny.
in that. I cannot wait to watch that video.
Yeah, it's very good. I do find it interesting as we learn more about cognitive states or abilities of animals. Even when we look at parenthood in some species, when we learn about that level of kind of care that some species show, and seeing sharks interact with toys like this, because it can also improve. There's still, this is maybe clutching at straws a little bit, but there's still a lot of aquariums around the world that keep sharks, and if we learn that they have that cognitive ability to play, then also it can change behavioural standards that we have.
100%. I mean, we do this with our dogs, don't we? We try and create...
Exactly.
Whenever I give my dog treats, I break them up into tiny pieces and just chuck them around the house, and that gets rid of her for half an hour.
Exactly. So if we learn a bit more about sharks, what their ability is, or to interact with objects, then it can really enhance that side of things. And also, it could also change legislation in certain countries to do with, I don't know, fishing or something like that. But I do understand your point. I saw it straight away and was like, they're playing with that. I don't even need to be told.
It's totally appropriate. It's totally appropriate. And actually, it just goes to show that you do not need to be an academic to have an appropriate response to the natural world. Your response is the most appropriate response to the natural world, I believe.
Agree.
Another quickie, because we're coming to the end.
We are. God, we've got to the end quick, haven't we?
Because I went on about cellar spiders for 48 hours, which is about how long it takes me to clean up the cobwebs. Okay, so this is a story that came out yesterday, which is that trees planted as part of a nature restoration project on Prince William's Land in Dartmoor National Park have been deliberately poisoned with herbicide, sparking outrage and a hunt for the culprit. So willow trees, I'm reading directly from an article by Helena Horton in The Guardian. Willow trees on the Duchy of Cornwall land were planted as part of a project to stop peat erosion, to store carbon and reduce flooding. For those that don't know, our uplands across England ought to be treed, and that stops peat being eroded by the rain, and it slows down flooding. So there is an effort on some land to restore some land that isn't used for shooting, to restore peatland. It's a special site of scientific interest, SSI, and it was placed within fenced enclosures to stop livestock grading, known as the Forest of Dartmoor. Someone has killed the trees, apparently by spraying them with glyphosate, which experts believe. So there's an investigation going into this. And a comment here from Guy Shrubsole, the author of The Lost Rainforests of Britain. This is an outrageous act of sabotage, one which points a dagger at the heart of efforts to restore nature in the part of the country. Dartmoor's commons are virtually treeless already as a result of centuries of overgrazing by sheep. To see even these tentative efforts at restoring trees subject to deliberate vandalism is deeply disturbing, as is the failure so far to uncover the culprit. So
one absolute cunt, whoever did that.
Yeah. What is the motive? Are they one of those people that is annoyed at ecologists and environmentalists and wants to get back of them?
Yeah.
There is a group of people who believe that land that is unproductive for food is wasting land. There is that deep-seated belief between those that, not everyone, let's not upset the good ones, but of growers. I'm over this kind of not all men stuff when it comes to the environment. I really am over it. We've got some of the worst biodiversity in the world, 7th bottom out of 240 countries of biodiversity intactness. Yet we have to tiptoe around talking about intensive agriculture and what we do with our land because we don't want to upset the good farmers or the ones that are really vocal and get upset. But the reality is that there is a dominating narrative that land that is not, and this has been, if you look back, over accounts over hundreds of years of enclosure and clearance of the land, the dominant powers seek to extract as much from the land as possible. So land that cannot be cultivated for profit was seen as wasteland. So we want as less wasteland as possible in our culture has been the dominating narrative. So we drain wetlands, we drain the uplands, we clear trees, we plant on them. And so, uplands can be used for grazing. Lowland wetlands have been drained and really fertile soils can be used to grow crops. This is like, why would you have a wetland or a bog or a moor when you could have production at all costs, bringing wealth to the very few? And so I do wonder whether it's, these lefty tree-hugging environmentalists are trying to plant trees, let's show them to poison, Or is it just like an individual weirdo who loves glyphosate? I don't know. I'm throwing it out
I mean,
there.
that definitely what you've said there, that is the spectrum, isn't it?
It's like the Sycamore
sits
Gap.
somewhere
Everyone
on
was
that.
like, it could be somebody who's got this deep agenda, or it could just be a weirdo who likes going down trees.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like when the links were released, who was
Was
that?
it someone really interested in rewilding, or is it just a weirdo that had like
weirdo
20
that
links
had
and was like,
links?
I need to get rid of 4?
Somewhere on that spectrum, this person sits,
Ryan and I are not going to cast aspersions. Is that the right phrase?
No, but the only thing we will say is they're definitely a cunt.
Yeah, absolutely. Glyphosate, you've just killed 10,000 bees. 1 million bees, probably. Well done.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah, exactly. But how sad's that? Like,
That
it's
is
nice
very
to hear on
sad.
the uplands projects to restore woodland,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
Uh-huh.
boom, dead.
As if like there wasn't an uphill battle enough.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you've got no one could have foreseen that. You know what I mean? No one thought, right, the risk assessments are done for the tree restoration.
We've imported
Has anyone
them.
thought about potential poisoning from a weirdo?
We've got a whole group
No.
of people. We've paid a contractor to plant them.
Yeah.
You looked at the risk assessment, so the planters might get a sore back.
Yeah. Steel toe cap boots for the shovels being pushed into ground, all that
A
stuff
weirdo, 3 months down the line, poisoning them. No one guessed it.
wasn't accounted for.
No one installed CCTV, did they, for the trees?
Of course they didn't. No, there was nothing to pin it on.
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? I just feel like there's a song for everything today. You paved paradise, poison the trees on the moor. Do 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 do.
Do you know what? I'm actually sorry to the nerds that I started this episode with a song.
I'm sorry to the nerds that I was deep in my luteal phase yesterday and we had to record on a Friday, which is beer day.
Yeah, you are the opposite side of the coin today, aren't you?
If you would have regretted yesterday's podcast. I'm telling you, you'd have regretted it.
We've made more friends than we've lost today.
Anyway, what a good little roundup of what's happening. in the
Lovely
world.
little roundup. Nerds, thanks so much for tuning in to your weekly nature catch-up and news show with Ryan and Nadia of Into the Wild. We'll be back next week with week 33 of Nature News. In the meantime, if you would like to send Nadia and I a little bit of a Christmas
Well, do
present
you know
to
what?
say thank you.
If you've noticed, Ryan's sound recording is a lot sharper than mine, and that's because he's got a better recording setup, and I'm currently trying to save up for a better recording setup. So when you donate £3 through Ko-fi, £5, £10, it goes towards a pot of money, and I can buy a new microphone, which would be great.
Yeah, so if you are ever wondering that Nadia's owner audio isn't as good, you can control that.
Yeah, it's up to you.
It's up
Pay
to
for
you.
quality.
Nerds. You can go to kofi.com/Into the Wild Pod. You can either do a one-off donation or you can set up a monthly subscription from as little as £3 a month. Everything, like Nadia just said, that comes to the pod goes into the podcast. And whatever platform you're listening on, if you can give a review, please do that. Please do follow us on social media. We're mainly on Instagram now. Blue Sky's gone a bit quiet, and Twitter. So we're just on Instagram, but give us a follow on there. And in the meantime, enjoy your December. I hope your advent calendar is dishing out the goods.
And when you hoover the corners of your house, look
Oh,
what
for
happens,
fuck's
so
sake.
be it. That's all I'm saying.
Bye.
Bye.